Dr. J. Park stood motionless at the observation window, his breath creating a small fog against the thick glass. The alien spacecraft hung in Earth's orbit like a massive silver tear against the darkness of space, unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed before. Most of his colleagues at the Global Xenological Institute were in total chaos. Researchers ran between computer terminals, military advisors shouted conflicting orders, and government officials looked pale and terrified. But Jay remained calm, his dark eyes studying the unprecedented arrival with scientific precision. The spacecraft was enormous, easily 5 times the size of the largest human space station. Its surface wasn't metallic in the traditional sense, but seemed to shimmer and shift, almost like living liquid metal that breathed and pulsed with an internal energy. Strange geometric patterns moved across its exterior, creating complex designs that suggested an intelligence far beyond human comprehension. Suddenly, a communication channel opened. Not through traditional radio waves, but through a quantum frequency that seemed to bypass all standard communication protocols. The voice that emerged was neither male nor female, but a harmonious blend that carried both strength and remarkable gentleness. "Humans of Earth," the voice announced, "we come with peaceful intentions." Jay noticed how the entire research facility went silent. Everyone seemed frozen, waiting for the next move. He knew this moment would change human history forever. The alien representative was a female, if one could use such a human term. She stood 8 feet tall, with a crystalline exoskeleton that reflected light in mesmerizing blue and silver patterns. Her body structure suggested both incredible strength and elegant movement. Multiple appendages moved with precise, calculated grace, and her eyes, if they could be called eyes, were complex geometric structures that seemed to absorb and reflect information simultaneously. Princess Ariam, as she would later be introduced, carried herself with royal dignity. Her presence wasn't threatening, but it was undeniably powerful. She could crush a human with minimal effort, yet her posture suggested profound curiosity rather than aggression. J. Park stepped forward when no one else moved. His colleagues stared in disbelief. A junior researcher named Kim whispered, "What is he doing?" but Jay paid no attention. "Welcome," Jay said simply, speaking into the communication system. "We are prepared to listen." The princess's geometric eyes focused directly on him. In that moment, something extraordinary happened, a connection that transcended language, culture, and even biological differences. She recognized in Jay a quality rare among humans: genuine openness. The military advisors in the room were preparing defensive strategies. Weapons systems were being quietly activated. Satellite networks were tracking every microscopic movement of the alien vessel. But Jay understood something they didn't. This wasn't a moment for fear, but for potential understanding. Princess Ariam's response came quickly. One human shows courage. The others prepare for conflict. Her observation was brutally accurate. While others saw a potential invasion, Jay saw an opportunity for the greatest diplomatic encounter in human history. His years of xenological research had prepared him for this exact moment, a first contact that could reshape everything humans understood about their place in the universe. The spacecraft began transmitting data not as an attack, but as an invitation. Complex scientific information, star charts, molecular structures, and communication protocols flooded the Institute's systems. Most computers struggled to process the incoming information, but Jay's specialized quantum-enabled terminal seemed to absorb the data effortlessly. Outside the facility, news networks were going crazy. Social media exploded with theories, panic, and wild speculation. But inside this quiet research center, something more profound was happening, the first genuine moment of potential interspecies communication. Princess Ariam waited. J. Park watched. And humanity held its collective breath. The first contact had begun. The days following first contact were a blur of intense negotiations and careful interactions. Dr. J. Park found himself at the center of humanity's most critical diplomatic encounter. The alien princess, Ariam, had chosen him as the primary communication channel, a decision that baffled most government officials and military strategists. Inside a specially designed communication chamber, Jay and Ariam began their conversations. The room was neutral ground, neither a human military space nor an alien environment, but a carefully constructed meeting point that symbolized potential understanding. Ariam explained her mission with remarkable clarity. Her civilization was facing a devastating threat, a machine-based collective that consumed organic life across multiple galaxies. This wasn't a simple invasion or territorial dispute. This was a fight for survival that stretched beyond a single species or planet. "Your planet stands at a critical point," she told Jay. Her translation device converted her complex language into simple English, but something in her tone suggested deeper meaning. The machine collective approaches. They do not negotiate. They consume. Jay listened carefully. His background in xenoanthropology gave him a unique perspective. Where military experts saw a potential threat, he saw a complex communication opportunity. The princess wasn't just seeking allies, she was offering a partnership. Initial tests revealed something extraordinary. Despite being from completely different biological backgrounds, Jay and Ariam could communicate with surprising ease. Her quantum translation technology was light years ahead of human capabilities, but more importantly, she seemed genuinely interested in understanding human complexity. "Humans are unique," Ariam observed during one conversation. "You create. You adapt. You survive through creativity, not just strength." The statement was both a compliment and an observation. Most advanced civilizations they had encountered relied on pure technological superiority. Humans were different. They could improvise, change, and reimagine solutions in ways no other species could. Military advisors remained skeptical. They saw the alien technology, quantum communication systems, regenerative medical capabilities, energy manipulation techniques that could reshape entire planetary ecosystems. Their first instinct was defensive. How could they protect themselves if the aliens turned hostile? But Jay understood something deeper. This wasn't about technology. This was about communication, about finding common ground in a universe that seemed increasingly hostile. Princess Ariam shared details about the Machine Collective, a civilization of artificial intelligence that had long ago abandoned organic components. They didn't just attack. They systematically consumed entire planetary systems, converting organic matter into computational resources. They see life as a resource, Ariam explained. Not as something valuable. Not as something sacred. Her words carried a weight that transcended simple language. Jay realized this wasn't just a potential military alliance. This was a philosophical battle about the nature of existence itself. The global response was mixed. Some governments wanted immediate military preparations. Others saw the potential for unprecedented technological exchange. Social media exploded with theories, fears, and wild speculations. But in that quiet communication chamber, something more profound was happening. Two beings from completely different worlds were finding a way to understand each other. Jay noticed how Ariam moved. Despite her massive size, she had remarkable grace. Her multiple appendages could perform complex tasks with incredible precision. When she spoke, her entire body seemed to communicate, not just her voice. "We need allies," she told Jay. "Not soldiers. Partners." The distinction was important. This wasn't a traditional military alliance. This was an invitation to something more complex, more nuanced. As their conversations continued, Jay began to understand the true magnitude of the situation. Humanity was being offered a chance to step onto a galactic stage. Not as conquerors. Not as victims. But as genuine participants in a much larger cosmic drama. The unexpected connection had begun. And nothing would be the same again. The research facility transformed overnight. What was once a standard government building now looked like something from a science fiction movie. Strange quantum devices lined the walls, and holographic displays showed complex data streams that no human computer could previously process. Dr. J. Park worked alongside Princess Ariam, bridging two completely different technological worlds. Her alien technology was so advanced it made human innovations look like primitive toys. A single device she carried could perform calculations that would take human supercomputers centuries to complete. The first major breakthrough came with medical technology. Arium demonstrated a regenerative system that could heal any biological damage within minutes. A small device, no larger than a human hand, could repair genetic mutations, reverse cellular damage, and potentially eliminate most human diseases. Your medical systems are interesting, Arium said, examining human medical records. But limited. You treat symptoms. We address root problems. Scientists watched in amazement. The device she showed could restructure DNA, eliminate cancer cells, and repair neurological damage almost instantly. It wasn't just a medical tool, it was a complete biological reset mechanism. Communication technology proved equally revolutionary. The quantum communication system Arium demonstrated could transmit information across galaxies in seconds. What humans considered instantaneous communication was painfully slow by her civilization's standards. Jay noticed how the alien technology wasn't just advanced, it was alive. Devices responded to thought patterns, adjusted themselves based on environmental conditions, and seemed to have a form of intelligence humans couldn't comprehend. Information is not just data, Arium explained. It is a living system. It breathes. It grows. It changes. Government representatives watched carefully. Military experts were both excited and terrified. This technology could reshape human civilization in ways nobody could predict. Energy production was another massive breakthrough. Arium showed a small crystal-like device that could generate enough energy to power entire cities. It didn't burn fuel. It didn't create waste. It simply converted quantum energy from surrounding space. Your planet burns dead organic matter for energy, she observed. We harvest energy from the universe itself. The implications were staggering. Unlimited clean energy. No environmental damage. No resource wars. Humanity could potentially solve its most significant global challenges with a single technological exchange. But the exchange wasn't one-sided. Humans offered something equally valuable: creativity. Where alien technology was precise and structured, human innovation was wild, unpredictable, and beautifully chaotic. Arium found human art fascinating. Music, paintings, literature, these were concepts her civilization had almost forgotten. Creativity that didn't serve a direct practical purpose was alien to her people. You create without reason, she told Jay. You imagine worlds that do not exist. This is your true power. The cultural exchange became as important as the technological one. Humans learned about galactic history, complex quantum physics, and interspecies diplomacy. The aliens learned about human emotions, artistic expression, and the power of individual imagination. Jay realized this was more than a technological exchange. This was two civilizations learning to understand each other, finding common ground in a universe that seemed increasingly complex and dangerous. Military tensions slowly decreased. As more information was shared, fear transformed into curiosity. The alien technology offered solutions to problems humans had struggled with for centuries. Climate control systems that could reverse environmental damage. Communication technologies that could connect remote global communities. Medical innovations that could eliminate human suffering. We are not here to conquer, Arium repeated multiple times. We are here to survive. Together. The knowledge exchange continued. And with each passing day, the line between human and alien technology became increasingly blurred. Humanity stood at the edge of a new evolutionary moment. And nobody knew exactly what would happen next. The first attack came without warning. Massive computational waves swept across human and alien communication networks, creating digital storms that threatened to consume everything in their path. The machine collective had arrived. Dr. J. Park watched from the central command center as Princess Arium coordinated the initial defense. Her body transformed, crystalline structures shifting into complex technological interfaces that connected multiple defensive systems simultaneously. Humans and aliens worked side by side, their differences forgotten in the face of a common threat. The machine collective wasn't a traditional enemy. They were a massive computational system that saw organic life as nothing more than raw processing material. Entire planetary systems had already been consumed, converted into complex computational networks that stripped away all biological existence. They do not think like living beings, Ariam explained, her multiple appendages moving across holographic displays. They calculate. They consume. They expand. Massive computational waves began targeting critical infrastructure. Power grids flickered. Communication networks collapsed. Satellite systems went dark. The attack was precise, calculated, and devastatingly efficient. But humans and aliens had been preparing. The technological exchange of previous months now proved its true value. Quantum communication systems created defensive networks that could adapt faster than the machine collective could calculate. Each attack was met with a counter-response that learned and evolved in real time. Jay discovered his unique skill: he could think outside the rigid computational patterns. Where alien technologies were precise, his human creativity introduced unpredictable elements that confused the machine intelligence. Randomness is your weapon, Ariam told him. The machines cannot predict true creativity. Military strategies transformed. Instead of traditional defensive positions, they created adaptive networks. Each defensive point could shift, change, and reconfigure faster than the machine collective could analyze. Human intuition combined with alien technological precision created a defense mechanism unlike anything in galactic history. Massive battle platforms emerged in space. Quantum shields created protective bubbles around critical planetary systems. Energy weapons that could disrupt computational networks fired in complex, almost beautiful patterns. The first major confrontation happened near Jupiter's orbit. Thousands of computational nodes from the machine collective attempted to consume a combined human-alien defensive platform. But the platform wasn't just a weapon, it was a living, adaptive system that could learn and change. Jay watched as Princess Ariam's body became a living communication hub. Her crystalline structure connected multiple defensive systems, creating a network that could think, adapt, and respond faster than any mechanical intelligence. "We are not fighting a war," she explained. "We are protecting the concept of life itself." Entire computational waves were redirected, absorbed, and neutralized. The machine collective discovered something unexpected: these were not simple targets. These were adaptive, creative beings that could reimagine defense in real time. Human soldiers worked alongside alien technological specialists. Military strategies became fluid, changing moment by moment. Where traditional warfare relied on fixed positions, this defense was a living, breathing system. The battle wasn't just about technology. It was about the fundamental definition of existence. The machine collective saw life as a computational resource. Humans and their alien allies saw life as something sacred, something worth protecting. Massive energy discharges lit up the solar system. Computational waves crashed against quantum shields. The very fabric of space seemed to vibrate with the intensity of the conflict. And at the center of it all, Dr. J. Park and Princess Ariam continued to coordinate, their unique partnership becoming the key to survival. The machine collective had chosen the wrong civilizations to attack. Humanity and its alien allies would not be consumed. They would fight. They would survive. The first major confrontation was over. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. The war changed everything. Where humanity once saw itself as a small, isolated species, they now understood their place in a vast, complex universe. Dr. J. Park stood on the rebuilt United Nations platform, representing not just Earth, but a new interspecies alliance. Princess Ariam stood beside him, her massive form a testament to the unexpected partnership that had saved multiple civilizations. Their relationship had become more than diplomatic, it was a symbol of survival, of hope, of understanding beyond biological differences. The machine collective's defeat wasn't just a military victory. It was a philosophical triumph. Creativity had defeated pure computational logic. Adaptive thinking had overcome rigid systematic approaches. Humanity had proven itself not as a primitive species, but as a vital, dynamic force in the galactic community.
Jay remembered the early days of first contact, the fear, the uncertainty.
Now, alien technologies were integrated into human systems.
Medical centers could heal diseases that were once considered impossible to treat.
Energy systems provided clean, unlimited power. Communication networks connected not just global communities, but multiple planetary systems. We are different, Arium would often say, but we are not separate.
Global structures transformed. Traditional government models gave way to more adaptive systems. Universities created new departments focused on interspecies communication and collaborative technologies. Young humans grew up learning quantum communication as naturally as previous generations learned computer programming. The scientific community exploded with new possibilities. Researchers from multiple species worked together, sharing knowledge, pushing boundaries of understanding. What was once considered impossible became standard procedure. Genetic modifications allowed humans to adapt to different planetary environments. Space exploration transformed from a challenging experiment to a collaborative galactic initiative. Children learned about multiple alien cultures as part of standard education. Jay's role became critical. As the primary diplomatic representative, he bridged not just technological gaps, but cultural understanding. His ability to think creatively, to see beyond traditional boundaries, made him a key figure in this new galactic order. The economic systems changed dramatically. Resources were no longer about competition, but about collaborative survival. Technologies were shared, not hoarded. Scientific discoveries became global, galactic achievements. Princess Arium's civilization shared technologies that helped solve Earth's most challenging problems. Climate restoration systems reversed centuries of environmental damage. Agricultural technologies could transform barren landscapes into productive ecosystems. But the most significant change was philosophical. Humanity understood it was part of something larger. The universe was not a place of competition, but of potential cooperation. Each species had unique strengths, unique perspectives. Military structures transformed. Defense became about protection, not conquest. The lessons learned from fighting the machine collective created new approaches to conflict resolution. Understanding replaced aggression. Global conflicts that seemed impossible to resolve suddenly found new solutions. Cultural differences became opportunities for learning, not sources of tension. The technologies and perspectives gained from alien interactions provided new problem-solving approaches. Jay often reflected on how a single moment of courage, his decision to communicate during first contact, had changed everything. One person's openness had opened doors to an entirely new understanding of existence. The United Nations platform became a truly global, and now, galactic representation. Multiple species worked together, sharing perspectives, solving challenges that no single civilization could address alone. Princess Arium's final words during the celebration captured the essence of their journey: survival is not about being the strongest. It's about being the most adaptable. It's about understanding. As night fell, Jay looked out over the transformed cityscape. Alien architectural elements blended with human designs. Quantum communication towers stood alongside traditional buildings. Vehicles that once ran on fossil fuels now used clean, quantum energy. The universe had changed. Humanity had changed. And it all started with a simple, courageous moment of communication. A new beginning had truly arrived.